What's up, everybody? This is Whiskey in the Six. I'm Rob. Doing the Pikesville Straight Rye. This is 6 years old. It's 110 proof, 55% ABV. I've been waiting to do this one for a while. I really enjoy this stuff. I'm a rye guy. I love my rye. And this whiskey is awesome. It's 51% rye, 39% corn, and 10% barley. Malted barley, to be exact. Alright? And a nose it, taste, and give it a mark, but I got my Whiskey in the Six glass to do that. Thanks to my lovely wife. For Father's Day, I got this as a gift. So, this one comes with quite a background. It says distilled and bottled by Heaven Hill, so it's a Heaven Hill product coming out of the Bernheim distillery. It doesn't say that on the back, but I did a little bit of research. All right. Distilled and bottled by Heaven Hill Distillers Inc., Bardstown, Kentucky. All right, so straight rye, and we know that in order to be called a straight rye, it has to be at least 51% rye grain in the mash. The nose on this one's awesome. A lot of cola notes on this one. I get some cherry, which I don't usually get with heavy rye influenced whiskeys. So that's strange for me, but beautiful nose. Like a little like flat Coca-Cola, not so much like you would get out of a rum, but definitely there. Typical vanillas. Really nice smell overall. So 55%. At 6 years old, it's very likely that it was brought down to 55 with a little bit of water. Got nice rye notes on the palate. Those nice rye bread notes and those like spicy big spice type notes. Again, as a rule, I think rye works best when it's higher ABV, so 50% or higher. Delicious stuff. I'm curious to see how these two would do head to head. The Michter's barrel strength, toasted barrel finish, they're almost identical in ABV. This is 55.1%. This one is 55%. So almost identical. But this one drinks very much like a bourbon, and the reason for that is it's only 51% rye and then a heavy portion of corn. I really like that. I think this one, head to head against most bourbons, a lot of people would be able to tell it's rye heavy, but they might mistake it for a bourbon blind. And I think it would beat out a lot of bourbons blind. It's excellent stuff. I know it's only 6 years old. According to the makers of Booker's, they believe, or the original owner believed that all bourbon should be around 6 years old because that's the money spot. So I think that applies here definitely. I would say for me the money spot is around 12 years old, but I really enjoy this one. So One more nose and taste. Definitely on the baking side, like cookies. A little bit like an oatmeal cookie in there with some cinnamon. A little bit of caramel. Sweet rye bread. A little bit of that cherry follows through. Delicious. That's a 90 for me. A+. Really, really good stuff. I enjoyed it a lot. The majority of this bottle is still left, and I've only taken probably 3 or 4 drams out of it. I will really enjoy this moving forward. I think it's in its money zone now. I don't know if it'll change much as it moves down the bottle, but at this point it's really, really good. So, like I said, A+. If you're confused about my current marking system, I posted on the actual home page. If you go to About, you'll get to see what my marking system is, and it's a translation into whiskey of what the academic Canadian scoring system is. So the academic Canadian scoring goes 50 to 59 is a D, 60 to 69 is a C, 70 to 79 is a B, or in the B range, and then 80 to 89 is an A, 90 to 100 is an A+. So that's the way the Canadian grading scale, the Canadian academic grading scale goes. I know the American one is different. I know that in the 80 range, that's considered a B in the US. I know that in the 90 range, it's considered an A in the US, and then you have to get 97 or above to be considered an A+. But that's just basically the differences in country. And I was actually surprised when I first started the channel. I didn't realize that there was such a difference. I know that most parts of the UK and Europe are very similar to the Canadian style, but I do know that it varies depending on where you are in the world. So pretty cool. Check that out on my, like I said, go to my homepage and go to the About. Other than that, like I said, this is a 90 for me, so that just hits the Canadian A+ range. For Americans, that would be an A. You guys can check me out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You guys can also check me out on Patreon. We're getting to the end of American Whiskey Month, or at least the latter half of American Whiskey Month. I'm having a great time. Still have a bunch left. I got the Evan Williams Bottled in Bond, Eagle Rare 10-year-old, which I probably will be doing Tuesday, which is tomorrow, with Whiskey Throttle Daniel. Maybe even Swami from Palate in Montreal. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be able to get him on. And then I got this Cody Road Rye, this Maker's Mark Cask Strength, and then to close out, I'll probably do this Michter's Toasted Barrel Finish, as well as an overrated, overpriced Bourbon Edition and an underrated, underpriced American Whiskey Bourbon Edition. So stay tuned for that. We got a few weeks left. I hope you're enjoying it. Cheers, guys.